Welcome back to WCI-TV, sponsored by Tower MSA Partners. I'm Amy Sweezy, and joining me now is Jason Turk. Jason, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, thank you.
You are a volunteer with Swag for Schools. Tell me, what is Swag for Schools?
Swag for Schools is a charity program where we take any leftover marketing material, swag like pens and notepads, socks, towels, water bottles, things like that, and we donate it to local elementary schools in the area where the conference is being held.
And when did this program begin?
I first came up with the idea, I believe it was 2018 here at WCI. There was a hurricane or a big storm coming in and all the exhibitors wanted to get out. And the FedEx, I believe there was one poor guy working there, and he was very overwhelmed, and the line of boxes, the folks just left their material there and went and hopped on a plane, and I saw it and I thought there's so much waste here. And I thought there's got to be something that we can do with this, and so that's where the idea was born, was here at WCI.
That is so exciting. So every year now you're involved. I know you said you've done several conferences. What is your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to make this a nationwide program where we have Swag for Schools drop boxes at every major convention center, so that, and we coordinate with the local elementary schools and the school districts so they have a fresh supply of school supplies on a weekly and monthly basis, just filling their what's called a school store or a teacher's store, where the teachers can just come and take the material as they need it, because it's amazing how they can repurpose things like koozies into hand puppets, fingernail files. They use those for the hand puppets, for the stick characters, the squeeze balls. They turn those into planetary dioramas and things like that. So they can become incredibly creative with the material that we provide them. So the goal is to make this a national program where we can just keep school supplies going so the teachers don't have to pay out of pocket for little things like markers and notepads, and they can really get creative with the arts and crafts.
And each of the conventions that you attend, the supplies go back into that local community, correct?
Yes. Except for the very first time that I tried this in California, because that was a pilot, a test program. That was the only time I've ever had to ship anything back because I hadn't selected a school in that local area because I didn't know if it was going to work. But after that, we coordinate 6 months to a year in advance when we know we're going to that conference. We try to keep it to someone that's involved with the conference, because a lot of the folks here have a family member that is a teacher, an educator, an administrator, somebody that could be directly impacted by it, and they're also in our industry. So we try to keep it tight like that. And it's not very difficult to find a school that will accept the material pretty quickly.
So you have a booth set up in the exhibit hall, and people can come by and just drop stuff off now to you? We're
actually set up right outside the exhibit hall. That way we're not in the way. And then folks, we actually had donations before I even got to the table on Sunday. There was a big box of phone holders, and we've gotten several boxes since then. But yeah, folks, they'll just come out and give us their material. And what we like to do, we have a LinkedIn page for Swag for Schools, and so we like to thank all of the exhibitor donors. We take their picture, take their card, make sure they get mentioned, and they're holding up their swag, whatever it is they're donating. So it's right out there. It's very convenient. The only thing is we don't have dollies or hand trucks. That's the biggest downside, but it's a good program, and hopefully it's very convenient for the exhibitors as well.
And what does it mean to you to have WCI on board and say, yes, we want to be part of this?
Oh, it's incredible, because in my opinion, this is the premier workers' compensation conference in the country. I've exhibited, I've spoken in many of these conferences, and this is by far the best conference that we attend, and the people here are just amazing. They're incredibly gracious with their time. I have another exhibitor from another company volunteering at the booth now to cover it, so to be able to answer questions. I mean, the donations we receive more donations here than we do at any other conference. So I love being here. Andrew and his entire team are incredibly gracious.
And last year you received how much, and is that your goal this year or even more?
So last year we filled up about a little over half of a 26-foot box truck to the ceiling with all kinds of good stuff, and I actually turned some stuff away last year because they typically would not take it, but this year they're going to. Things like wrapped candy, even some of the more adult-oriented items like shot glasses. They find a way to make games out of that. They'll glue them to boards, and then they'll throw ping pong balls and stuff in there where there's no danger to the children, or they might go to the teacher's lounge. We don't know, it just depends. But our goal this year is to fill up the entire box truck, and I think we're well on our way.
So is there a list somewhere on a website so that people know what is accepted and what isn't, or do you just take anything and then try to find a purpose for it?
So a part of our banner lists the 10 items that are typical that we will accept, but again, we will accept pretty much anything. We don't have a website, but we do have a LinkedIn page where it, again, explains that, and then I can be contacted. My information is on there as well.
Okay, fantastic. Jason Turk, thank you. Thank you for volunteering and for coming up with this idea. And I love that there's no need for waste. A lot of these exhibitors don't want to have to take all this stuff back with them. So What a wonderful way, and especially here in our community for OCPS.
Thank you very much. And it's a great opportunity for, a lot of these exhibitors don't have to ship their items, and they also can receive an in-kind donation form directly from the school, so they can also use that as a tax benefit as well, and it stays out of the trash. So we're covering a couple of those bases when it comes to ESG goals for some of these large companies.
Absolutely. All right, Jason Turk, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
For School, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, this is WCI-TV, sponsored by Tower MSA Partners. I'm Amy Sweezy. Thanks for watching.